Progress.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our presentation tonight. We'll get started in another minute or so. I'll give folks a chance to jump on. I think I'll go ahead and get started and then introduce our speaker tonight. We are recording tonight's session. So if for some reason you have to leave early and can't stay until the end, although it's not an extremely long presentation tonight, you will find the recording on our YouTube channel, and you can tune in there for the presentation. I should have it up sometime tomorrow. Also, if you have any questions about Samantha's presentation, go ahead and type them into the Q&A or the chat at the bottom of your screen at any time during her talk tonight. She will answer those questions at the very end of her presentation. So feel free to do that at any time. Also, I just want to mention, we do have a program on Social Security. It's called Understanding Social Security. It is going to take place Wednesday night, this Wednesday, February 1st at 7 o'clock. It's presented by the Bentron Financial Group, and they're going to talk about when to take benefits, working while getting benefits, taxation and Social Security, and spousal benefits. This all has to do with Social Security. So if you're interested in attending, you can sign up through the library's website or call the library and they'll get you signed up for the program. Again, it's on Zoom, and I'm also hoping that program will be recorded as well. So this is Samantha Royal. She is with the Citizens Utility Board. She's going to be our presenter tonight. Thank you for joining us, Samantha, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you.
Thank you, Valerie. And yes, my name is Samantha Royal. I'm with the Citizens Utility Board. And today we're going to talk about how to fight robocalls and cut your TV cost. As well, if you have any questions, as Valerie mentioned, just let them in the chat or the Q&A section here in Zoom. And if anything, if you have any more questions that weren't addressed during the at the end of the presentation, you can just send me an email to the email that's shown in your screen as royal@citizensutilityboard.org, and I can answer all of your questions. So let's start with the presentation. I would like to talk about a little bit more about what we do at the Citizens Utility Board. The Citizens Utility Board is a consumer advocacy group. We are a nonprofit organization that fights and represents utility ratepayers. We represent them in front of the Illinois Commerce Commission, in front of the Illinois General Assembly, in front of courts, in front of their utility as well. Part of our services is a helpline or a consumer helpline. Through this helpline here, we help consumers to file complaints. We answer their questions. The number right here, the hotline, it's available from Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. We also have a website that on our website you can find different resources, different information about um, electricity utility companies, about gas companies, about also some policy updates, some financial resources. We do not offer financial assistance. However, you can find on our financial side um, all the different resources that are available right now. And if you have any questions, we can help you or give you some guidance, but we do not provide financial assistance. And we also have another service right here that's called the Virtual Utility Bill Clinic. In this kind of event, the Virtual Utility Bill Clinic, we have a one-on-one conversation with consumers. The consumer has to send us a copy of their utility bills. We can work with electricity bills, gas bills, phone bills, cable bills, internet bills, right? And what we do through that session is that we go through your bills and see if there's any money savings opportunities. And we also work on media and publications. We have a couple of handbooks regarding energy efficiency or the cable TV cost. Okay, so let's start with the easiest, I think, the TV and cable topic. To understand a little bit more about this, let's see how it works, how the different ways that we can watch, the different ways that we can watch TV. The first one, it's over the air TV. That's the like open TV, the traditional one. It's getting pretty old at this moment, but it's still in the market. And one of the pros on this is that it's a free service. The other one is traditional cable. Then we have satellite TV. Then we have cable telco TV. And then we have streaming services that can be streaming videos or streaming live TV, which is the most like modern or newest way to watch TV. Okay, so here we have the first option, over the air. One of the pros, as I mentioned, is it's free. Major networks delivered to your home through an antenna. These are open channels. They're mostly local. And the cons is that the choices are pretty limited. And there can be a poor reception depending on the weather, depending on the wind. And then we have the traditional cable. This is delivered by a fiber optic cable. And in this one, we have more options, more choices, wide channel choices. And the cons is that it's expensive and it's not available everywhere. It depends on the area that you are located. There's different providers, there's different companies that depends on the company, how expensive this can be. But we can talk about that a little bit more in deep later. Then we have the satellite TV. This is delivered at your home via satellite, and we have DirecTV and the Dish Network. This one of the cons is that it's pretty similar of on the air TV, because it's on the ceiling or like the roof. The reception can be poor, and it also requires some specifications or some installation requirements to put it on. It's also one of the pros is that it's available in rural areas, but it can be expensive as well. Then we have the telco TV. This is one of the most common as well. It's TV offered by traditional landline phone companies and delivered to your home over fiber optic. This is one of the most, as I said, common ones. It's offered by AT&T, Ubers, Verizon, Xfinity as well. They have a wide channel choices, but it's also expensive and it's, again, not available everywhere. Then we go to the streaming services. This is the most modern way to watch TV. Basically, it's over the internet and you pay a monthly subscription. We have Amazon Prime, we have HBO, we have Netflix, we have Hulu, we have Sling TV, we have Peacock. There's a lot of different options right now. One of the pros is that the subscription is lower compared to a monthly pay for traditional cable or telco. You have a lot of different options in each one of these platforms, and it depends. They have uh, a lot of different options. You can customize your programming, and it's a pretty convenient sign up program. Like, you don't need to install any devices, or you don't need to call somebody else to do it for you. You can easily do it through your TV or your cell phone. The cons is that it requires high-speed internet, which is an extra service. It requires a smart TV or a streaming device that we're going to talk about it. It's pretty limited live content, and it can be adding up. I don't know if this can be a pro or a con, but there's a good thing, and that I see, that most of these platforms also or already offer the live TV service. They have access to different TV channels that you can find on open TV or cable TV as well. But as I mentioned, this can be adding up. It depends on the type of subscription that you have. Some of these platforms have like 3 to 5 different plans, and it depends on what you want from them, how much you're gonna pay. But it's not gonna be more expensive that like $39.99 or $49.99 a month. Okay, so for a typical cable package, we usually pay for 200 plus channels, but we just watch an average of 17. So basically, we are not taking advantage of all of these channels because it's kind of impossible, right? We don't have all the time in the world to be watching 200 plus channels. And we pay this an average monthly bill of $100 to $200. So when you are trying to reduce or lower your cost of your cable bill or your TV bill, this is some questions that you may want to ask yourself before making a decision. What channels or shows do you and your family want? Do you really need live TV? Do you need premium channels? Do different people in your home need to watch different shows at the same time? Also, you have to consider your lifestyle. Do your schedules allow you to watch a show as they air? Do you want to fast forward, rewind, and pause your shows? Do you want to record them? Okay, so after these questions, let's go to the tips. Tips on cutting your cable cost. First and foremost, look at your current bill. Understand what you're paying for. Sometimes we don't know, as consumers, we don't know what are we paying for, what are we getting for the price that we're paying. Sometimes we don't even know that we are under a bundle package that includes cable, that includes TV, that includes internet, that includes phone. But all of these prices are conditioned because they are together, they are into a bundle. Sometimes, in some cases, having these services separately can be more convenient. Or, like sometimes in these bundles, the companies offer you the best cable package that they have. But happens what we mentioned before. We don't have the time to watch all of these channels, and we might be overpaying. Check each line in your bill and note all charges that you don't understand. Can you cut on equipment? I was mentioning to Valerie before we started the session that some of the companies, I know for sure that AT&T does not allows to use other equipment that is not theirs. But another example can be Xfinity. Xfinity is a company that usually allows consumers to use their own equipment, their own modems, and I'm not pretty sure about the TV boxes, but it's a question that you may want to ask if you are an Xfinity consumer to your company, because you pay a rent fee for each one of the for each piece of equipment that you use to watch your TV, to enjoy your internet service. So that can be something that can be cut off if you are available to use your own equipment. Another thing is, how many cable boxes do you really need? Do you really need a cable box for each one of your TVs? All of the people that watch the TV on all of these TVs, do they really watch cable, or they watch other things? Do you need a DVR? You can, as I mentioned, you can buy your own modem or TV boxes. You have to call your company to make sure that that can happen. I know for sure that AT&T does not allow this. Xfinity, it's an option that they do allow the internet modem, but I'm not really sure about the TV box if you have your cable with them. Also, every time you want to renegotiate your contract or your service, your best bet is to call them and request to be communicated to the cancellations or retention department. This is the area that they have the power to offer you a better deal. Not with customer service, because they will try to buy you again by offering you a better bundle for a limited time, a better price for a limited time. And once that time's over, you will go back to the beginning of your package. So please go through the cancellations or retention department, because they have the power to actually make your deal better. The other one, you have to check on your other options, and the best way to do some price checking, even if you're buying plane tickets for a vacation, you go incognito on Google search or Safari or any kind of internet browser. You go incognito and you will be able to see all of the deals that are not pre-programmed for your needs, like to see the real deal, and try to compare all the competition's deals and see which one fits for you better. Sometimes we get conditional contracts that we have to pay this service or this specific amount for over than a year. So we need to make sure that, is that a deal, is that deal convenient for you for all that time, or you need less time? To bundle or not to bundle. As I mentioned, sometimes bundles can be a little bit more cheaper or a little bit more expensive. That depends on your needs and what you really want. Try internet and cable only. Here, I would like to address an example, and I hope it's easy to understand. But last week, here in the Citizens Utility Board, as I mentioned in the beginning, we offer a service that it's called a utility bill analysis or utility bill clinic, virtual utility bill clinic. So what we do with consumers is that they show us their utility bills, their phone bills, cable bills, and we go through them to see if there's any money savings opportunities. So I had this specific case of a marriage couple that they were paying almost $300 on an Xfinity bill, and they had cable, they had internet, and they have their landline. With their landline, I always ask why people want to keep their landline, but everybody has different needs. And landline, believe it or not, is the cheapest of all of the services. At least in this case, was cheaper than the other two above. It was like around $30 with before taxes. But then we have the internet, and then we have the cable. They were paying one of the most expensive packages on that Xfinity offers for cable and for internet, but it was just the two of them living on their house. It's not more people, like nobody was working from home, nobody, like they just watch TV on their free time or during the weekends and stuff like that. And they also have streaming services. So and they have 3 different TVs. 2 were smart TVs no, I'm sorry. One wasn't a smart TV because they told me that it was like a brand new TV. And the other two were more like plasma TVs. So what we saw is that they were paying almost $60 for rental equipment between the internet and the cable boxes. And you pay that monthly, right? Every month you pay $60 on rental equipment. So in this case, we went through their needs. We talk about it like, hey, what do you really enjoy your cable service fully, or what are the channels that you really watch? What are your needs when it comes to entertainment through TV, through cable? Can you replace this with a streaming service? As I mentioned before, streaming services right now offer a lot of different content, channels, live TV, and movies and series. At this moment, the market is more open when it comes to like not just the movies and series that was when Netflix started. Now we have other options like Peacock, like Hulu. They offer live TV. They offer other channels as well, like ESPN Plus. If you are a fan, a sports fan, all of that. So that's what you need to compare to see if it's actually giving you a good deal or not. So we did the math, and also, if you don't have a smart TV, you can get one of these devices from Amazon or from Best Buy or any other like technology store. They have, we will talk about it later in the presentation, but there's a device that you can buy at different prices that you can plug into your TV to make it a smart TV. And it also has a remote, and it's a one-time payment. Like, you don't have to make monthly payments, you just buy it. And the prices are between $29.99 to $59.99, $69.99. It's not that expensive, but the good thing is that it is a one payment only. You're not paying monthly for this. The only thing that you will be paying will be the streaming services. But that's why there's like so many different options that you just need to find which one is the best for you and pay for that. And a streaming service goes between $15.99 to like maybe $20.99, $25.99 a month. Instead of paying the rental fees, instead of paying the service itself, because the cable package was like 160 something just for like 200 channels, and they had Peacock for free at that time. So basically, when we did all the math, skipping the rental fees, using your own equipment, getting all these two devices to make your smart TVs, adding on the subscriptions that they actually paid, they were paying for Amazon Prime, and they were interested in paying for Peacock, and they were interested in paying for ESPN. With all of that, the savings were up to $150. So it's just like a thing of knowing what are your needs, knowing what you're really gonna use, and to try to make the best deal out of it. As always, I mention always, all the time to the consumers, if you're having any issue or you want to know your options as well, keep the communication open with your company, with your utility, to make sure that everything is going the way it's supposed to go, and to make the best out of it. Okay, so as always, if you're gonna call them, be polite and confident. And also, there's a lot of TV and phone companies that offer different streaming services as well that are included, and sometimes we don't take advantage of them, like HBO, like Xfinity offers Peacock for free, and stuff like that. So take your notes of everything that you have, everything that you're paying, and once you understand how much you're paying and what do you really need out of that service, you can make a better deal out of it. So this is just another example of what it was, or what will be if you change to an HD TV antenna, if you change to a streaming, if you buy, sorry, an streaming device or a smart TV, if you just pay for streaming services or additional streaming services. Okay, so cutting the cord, giving up your cable service. There's different antennas in the market right now. The digital antennas are a good thing because they're like inside your home, and you can get all the TV service in your TV. And also for streaming, as I mentioned, you need to have a smart TV or to have a streaming device and a wireless connection. And there's a lot of different popular streaming devices. We have Roku, we have Apple TV, we have the Fire Stick, we have the Xfinity Flex, we also have the Chromecast from Google. It's just different things, like these. And there's different prices in all of them. That just depends on what do you really need, what do you really want. As I mentioned, the basic streaming services that now exist, and they keep growing and growing and growing. Personally, from personal experience, I know that Hulu they have their own, it's like their own channel, but they also have other channels in their live section, the same as Peacock as well. Netflix is more like a library, like for TVs and series. But we have so many different options out there that we can make a wiser decision when it comes to cut off the cable. And okay, what do you need to know? First and most, you need to find out what channels are available. You can go through like internet and go to the FCC website to see what are the channels or the TV channels that are now available. That if you want to use a digital antenna instead of having your cable, this is what you have to do. And there's other tools like TV Full or Antenna Web. Number two, make sure that you have the right TV. To use a digital antenna or a streaming device, you have to have a digital tuner in your TV, but most of the TVs nowadays have it. The TVs built after 2006 have a digital tuner, so I think most of us, we all have a modern TV nowadays. Number three, make sure you have the right type of antenna. It depends, like if it's an indoor or outdoor. The antennas are all different prices, and it depends. Like on Amazon, there's some antennas that are like $10, $15, and they're just basic, like to plug in your TV, hang it in your wall, and just get like regular open TV. There's other antennas that also include the streaming services. It depends. It depends a lot on that. And well, the price can be between $10 to $200. It depends on the model, the brand, and all of that situation. Now, let's go to the robocalls. This is a major topic nowadays because we all get them, right? We all have got a robocall. So what is a robocall? It's a pre-recorded message from computer-generated dialers, sorry. Are robocalls legal? Only if they are not sales calls, unless they have written permission from the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. The allowed pre-recorded messages can be information calls from the government, debt collectors, from or on behalf of politicians, healthcare providers, and banks, phone carriers, and charities. Let me tell you something right here. Your electricity and your gas companies will not call you. Those will send you an email if you provide them with your email address. If you went paperless, if you didn't provide them with that information, they will send you information, like printed information through your mailbox to your address. So just be aware of that information. Okay, so when it comes to robocalls by category, most of them, the majority of them, the 40% of them, it's scams. So this is just like some additional info. 1 out of 10 Americans are scammed each year. Unfortunately, it is something that goes and goes and goes on every time. What are the common scams? Spoofing. Spoofing is when a robocaller uses your area code. Let's say you live in Chicago, they have the 773, they have the 312. It depends on where they live. To make it appear that somebody that you might know it's calling you, maybe like a friend, maybe a neighbor, somebody that wants to reach you out, and then you answer the phone and they start asking you questions and you start answering them. Just ignore the calls when it's something like this. Try to have your contact agenda updated with all the contacts that you need to avoid this kind of situations. The latest scams are regarding the IRS and Social Security. It's regarding COVID, and it's all this say yes scams and electric and gas companies. That's why I told you your electric and your gas company will not call you through phone unless you call them first and leave like a message or leave like a callback request. They will call you. If you don't communicate with them, your utility will not communicate to you. If you're having a specific problem or situation with your service, your company will not call you. You need to call them to make them let them know what's going on in your specific case. They usually communicate with their consumers if they are working on something that will affect everybody's service, like some kind of pipe reparation, some kind of there's another thing that happens. Oh, if there's like some wind situation going on that will affect like the electric service and stuff like that. So just keep the communication open with your utility if something's happening. But if you get a phone call from them, it's pretty most likely to be a scam call. So this is what it is. There's another type of scam, and that's the most recent or the most common right now. It's called phishing. You get a link through a text message or into your mail account saying that it's like from Facebook, from Google, from your PayPal account, from your bank account, and you click on that link. Don't do that. What happens is that you click on that link and you allow the other people on the other side, the person that sent you the link, to access your information. And sometimes we need to really read these emails or text messages because it appears that it is actually it is actually coming from your bank or from your social media carrier like Facebook, like Twitter, like Instagram, and is not. Okay, so do not answer any questions, especially with like the yes or no questions. Like as example, can you hear me? Never mention yes or no, because remember, these are pre-recorded messages and they most likely are recording you. So they can use those recordings to get more info about you and you will get scammed. So the tips are, do not answer no numbers. As I said, just keep your contact agenda updated. People that really need to reach you out, they will leave you a voicemail or they will send you a text message after. If you do answer a robocall, just hang up the phone immediately. Do not call back those numbers ever. Can this be stopped? Step number 1, confirm that you are on that do not call list. You can call the number that you see on the screen from your cell phone to get registered, or go to the website do not call that gov. Basically, this is a government website that you can put your phone number to do not receive like vendors calls or like this salespersons or like bankers and stuff like that. Because sometimes, you know, like hackers and scammers are everywhere, so they can get your information from anywhere. Step 2, use your voicemail. As I mentioned, if somebody really wants to reach you out, they will leave you a voice message. Number 3, see what your phone provider can do for you when it comes to this. What if you have a landline as well, use your voicemail, get a blocking device, or with AT&T, you have the star 60 service. It's an additional cost kind of service, and you can block up to 10 numbers from your local area. If you're using your phone, your cell phone, they have the star codes, each one of the providers. It depends on which provider we're talking about. But we also, your carrier, like T-Mobile, Verizon, Cricket, they all have some kind of blocking service. Some of them will charge you an additional fee. Some of them will not. And also, like through your cell phone, like if you go to the settings on your cell phone, you can block the not the like the unknown callers, the people that are not saved in your agenda, in your contacts list. But this is a list of the call blocking services from cell phone or wireless companies: the Call Protect from AT&T, Premium Caller ID from Sprint, Scam ID, Scam Block, and Name ID from T-Mobile, and the Call Filter from Verizon. And that will be all for today. Do you guys have any question regarding this topic?
Thank you, Samantha.
Yeah.
If anyone has any questions, go ahead and type them into the Q&A or the chat. I don't see anything coming up just yet.
Yeah, I don't see any questions
Sometimes,
either.
nope, I don't see anything. Okay, well, if you have any questions, I think Samantha mentioned that email earlier in the presentation on that one slide. And if you need that, like I said, I will be posting the recording up on our YouTube channel tomorrow. So, oh, here, actually, you're gonna bring it up now, right? There it is, perfect, thank you.
We have, oh, no, you're very welcome,
Yeah.
everybody. And if you guys need anything, as I mentioned before, you can see on the screen, you can take a screenshot, a picture, or anything of my contact information, of my email. As Valerie said, she will have this recorded. But however, if you have any more questions in the future regarding this or regarding our services, if you may want to use them, you can just send me an email.
Right, we've actually had the, oh, excuse me. We've had the Citizens Utility Board out to do other presentations. You guys did something on cutting your utility bill. So you have a lot of excellent information and a lot of great sources for consumers. So yes, please don't hesitate to call them if you have any questions. We do have a couple comments, just that the presentation was wonderful, some good information. And one question from Brian, who do you report nuisance callers to?
Nuisance callers. I need to make sure about that. That's a really great question because I've never had that one before. But it's because it's a sales For what I know, because it's kind of like a sales call, you can do it through the page that I showed you, the do not call list. If you registered your phone number and you put your phone number in the do not call list, you will not receive like sales calls, if that's what it is. But I will take this question because this is something that I was never asked before, and I will work on a little bit more in deep on that question. But for sure, the first thing that you want to do, if you don't want to get more of these calls, you go to the do not call list, do not call.gov, to register your phone number.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's someone that, probably a salesperson that calls constantly or something like that, but.
Yeah,
from-
or the easiest way to do it, and I am dealing with that like myself right now. I don't know. I just changed my phone number, so I guess my phone number has been like floating around there for a long time now, and I've been getting a lot of calls from like salesperson and like scam calls too. And what I just decided to do before doing anything else, I just did the setting part of my cell phone. I went to the settings and just block every call that it's not registered in my contact list as well. So yeah, we can do that, but definitely use the do not call list for sure.
Yeah, that's a good tip, Samantha, just blocking the call from your cell phone. Denise would like to know, what is the phone number to call for the do not call list? Can you show that slide?
Yeah, for sure. The do not call. Is it this one? Yeah. This is the do not call number right here. 1-888-382-1222. Or if it's easier, you can go to the website, do not call.gov.
Yeah, I think Brian responded in the chat that I am registered and I get calls all the time from salespeople. So I guess that's what he means by nuisance calls, is salespeople who can continue to call him.
You can continue to call. My other alternative after like
Yeah, a few
like
people are
blocking the
saying, yeah,
number,
blocks the
like,
number, right?
it may be to call your phone carrier to see if they have like this one of these additional services that we talk about after like this yeah, the blocking services, and to see if that works for you better than just the do not call list, and the settings on your cell phone as well. As I mentioned, like this blocking services, not all of the carriers charge extra for it. You just need to make sure that you are enrolled into it.
Thank you. And just last comment was our last statement was a comment. Just thank you very much. I think we answered everything else. Yeah, everything else in the Q&A is answered. So, well, thank you, Samantha. I appreciate you coming out and doing the lecture for us. I'll get this put up on our YouTube site tomorrow. And if you have any questions, you can email Samantha, or just visit the citizensutilityboard.org for more consumer information. All right. Good night.
Yeah, thank you, Valerie. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for having me today. Good night. Have a great night, and we're here to help you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Samantha. Good night, everyone.
Bye.